Back once again with the ill behavior. We're here, Uncut and Unfiltered podcast. Ian, looking super fly.
Thank you.
Looking sexy.
That's because I'm ready to win again.
Okay. Fighting words. We haven't even announced what the episode
This
is.
is a competition.
Comes out of the fucking gates. Absolutely raring to go. We'll explain to people what's going on here on the episode in a minute. Stevie, big shout out to you. How you doing, my guy?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm hoping there's no black rods in that lineup.
There definitely isn't. Guys, today we are doing our second Auction Bottles episode. Last time you seemed to really enjoy the episode. We had a budget on bottles. Was it up to £60 last time?
No.
It's
30.
up to... oh, God, it was. It was such a small budget. Sorry.
Yeah, it was tough.
Misremembering already.
And look, you boys just couldn't handle the flavour explosion of a big dram of black rod in your mouth.
Brilliant. Fucking
When
revolting.
I say I want to be
If you want to watch
dominated
the last episode, you can watch it here. It personally turns my stomach even thinking about Black Rod, but there we go. We'll see.
You know you love it, mate.
Last
you love
time,
a black rod.
The thing is, last time we got going and it was a little bit unclear. I was of the understanding that it was £30 all in. You were our £30 hammer price. You were £30, but not including the delivery. This time, we've set the rules. It's very, very clear. All in, buying a bottle on auction for between £60 and £100 as your max. So that's what we're going to get stuck into in a minute. But before we do, guys, I just want to give a bit of a shout out to two people in our community. First and foremost, a gent called Greg reached out to us. Greg has been following us on the Whiskey Baron side of things, but also on Uncut and Unfiltered. And he reached out to us there a little while ago, just letting us know. Actually, Ian, do you want to pour us a dram there, mate, whilst I'm chatting away? Pick whichever, doesn't matter. Something that we can toast with. But Greg reached out to us and really, really supportive, actually. Sent us a lovely message saying he's really enjoying all the content. Unfortunately, he was enjoying the content whilst he was in hospital with his father, who recently passed away due to cancer, which is obviously, absolutely terrible. And, it's really, really sad to hear people going through these sorts of things. However, it was wonderful to hear that we were, even just provided a modicum of relief from that sort of a horrible situation. He seems to be getting into his whiskey. So Greg, we wanted to raise you a toast to both yourself and your father. We said that we would do this. It has been a while since we've all been together here in the studio. This may not be going out until 2024 now, so it's probably well overdue. But sir, we just wanted to let you know we're all thinking of you. The whiskey community is a wonderful community. And, everyone out there at home, make sure that you're pulling together, looking after each other, particularly around Christmas time and in the new year when people may be feeling a bit alone. So, to Greg and Greg's dad. Saint-Chauvin. And the second toast I wanted to raise is, again, somebody in the community who recently passed away. This actually hit us pretty hard here at Uncut and at the Whiskey Baron. Whiskey Straight Al is a fucking legend. Was a fucking legend. Really, really sad to hear that he passed away recently. Unfortunately, I never met him. And it's one of those things I've been kicking myself about. I recently moved up to Scotland and I've been saying to myself, I'm going to visit him. I want to drop something off. And sure enough, I never fucking did. And what a regret, because unfortunately he passed away there just before Christmas. So again, I want to raise a toast to Whiskey Straight Al. Not only was he a key part of our community, but he had an awesome community himself. He put out some really, really cool videos and he was just an absolute gent. So, to Al.
To Al.
And with that being done, sorry to start on a bit of a bum note, but it's important to shout out to people in the community, I think.
I agree.
So with that being said, we'll do this episode, as a bit of a toast to Greg, his father, and to Al. And we will battle it out now. Back to normal, all right? I'm having the sad face is gone. I'm going to make sure that I win this one. We've got 4 bottles. As we say, we bought them all at auction recently, £60 to £100. Let's get going. Where do we want to start? What is in the glass? What have we started with?
We have started already.
We've started, and we've got yours.
I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to double check. I didn't want to jump ahead, but cool. So in the glass today, we've got the Glenmorangie Burgundy. Guys, we did try this on our Christmas Cracker episode, wasn't it, actually?
Yep.
Which you can watch here if you haven't already. It was a great day. We popped open a load of bottles, and I wanted to open this one because Burgundy wood, Christmassy flavors, it's just, It hit the day for me.
A good find, actually. I remember this when we had it on Christmas Day, and it's the same. It's delicious. It really is.
£95.
Okay.
All in,
Okay.
delivered to my door, £95. Now, I appreciate it's an unaged statement.
He's not impressed.
He's not impressed at all, I know. He's just being a dick. He's just lowballing it so that he comes out feeling a bit better when his one's announced. I love Glenmorangie, as we discussed, when we were drinking it at Christmas Day. It's an incredible distillery. What I love about this is it's just a slightly different finish. I have not seen much Burgundy when it comes to the Glenmorangie brand.
It's also a vintage bottle, right?
And it's a vintage bottle, correct.
Yeah.
A really, really wonderful whiskey. I don't see what's wrong with it for £95, to be honest, Ian. So I don't know why you're shaking your fucking head for, mate.
Points for vintage.
Okay, cool. I like that. Good, good.
That's something I always look for. I
Yeah.
think just for me, I would expect more. It falls a little bit flat for me. You get a little bit of the
finish.
You get the wine on the finish.
Yeah.
But an old bottle like this is something that I would normally be getting kind of quite excited about, even for £100.
Right.
And I think if you were to look out there at really vintage bottles, I've gone through at least a couple of like 60s and 70s black label. And I think if you're buying it for the vintage vibe, there is other older whiskey you can get out there that is still cheaper.
That's better. Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. The thing that drew me into this is I hadn't tried it before.
Yeah,
right?
of course, man.
So I wanted to try something a bit different.
Worth the punt.
And I know what you mean in as much as the Burgundy finish is not rich and full. We also tried the Springbank Burgundy there the other day.
Yeah.
And, again, something that I love and kind of one of the drams that really switched me on to Burgundy. It's not as full as that. There is definitely, an element of a thin finish maybe somewhere towards the end, you may argue, Stevie. I'm waiting for that to come out of your mouth in a minute. I think that it's lovely. And I think that what's great about this is it's kind of a really great entry point into wine cask finishes, It's not overpowering. It's nice, it's sweet, it's fruity.
An entry point at £95.
Yeah. I'd go to...
Sorry, it's within the budget, so you can't slate me for the
is.
price.
I'm not talking
So,
about
look-
this budget. I'm talking about an entry point.
Sorry,
yeah.
I didn't say it's an entry-level whiskey. I said it's a good entry point into
I
wine
know,
finishes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so look, I said I don't think it succeeds as being an old bottle, and I think when you look at it as a red wine bottle, go to an airport and get the Deanston red wine finish for £50. It's just as good,
Okay.
maybe better.
Do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty good. So for
Drop
me,
it in the comments, guys. If you've tried this and the Deanston red wine, please drop in the comments what you should
look,
prefer.
I'm glad
interested.
I've tried this. I just don't think it succeeds at any of the things it's playing at. The wine finish, the vintage
Shots fired.
bit,
I failed on all fronts.
and the value side of things.
So where would you put this value-wise? Because I appreciate, look, it wasn't cheap. It was something like, again, I was excited to try it and I was happy to spend
Well, I'm
that.
sure
it
it
was
was
within the budget and I was happy to spend that sort of
Yeah,
money.
I'm sure it was probably like half a guinea when it came out in like 1863, right?
For sure.
I'm not sure I'd pay £95 for it.
No, okay. In fairness, I'm not sure I'd rush back and pay £95 for it.
Yeah.
It's not something that I'm rushing to buy back again. I think that it's lovely, though. I think it's a good expression. Okay, maybe it's not something that we're going to be writing home about forever. But like I say, the reason I bought it is curiosity.
Yeah, I would have done the same.
And I think that it's cool. And for that reason, I'm happy with it. I don't think it's outrageous. Is it on the more expensive end? Yeah. I don't think it's outrageously expensive. I think it's worth the money,
Here, Ian, do you mind just popping it up on the shelf there?
Let the
so
people see
at
it,
home-
Ian. Let the people see it.
It's
Well-
cool. It's intriguing, and I think I would have done the same on that budget. And we'll go to my bottle when we do. The vintage things like that, albeit new vintage, old vintage, whatever you want to call it, Ian. It still is something that is not really around anymore, right? It's not like your bottles that you can pick up or your Glenmorangie. What was it we had on the episode? It was the I can't remember now, but either way, it's something you could pick up still in the shops.
For sure.
So those bottles are probably getting bought, probably getting opened. like you, curiosity. I definitely bought it just to be like, fuck it.
Why not?
This is interesting.
And it's the sort of thing
Might
that I
not get the
think
chance
I
again.
will slowly enjoy with multiple people. Again, it's not something that I'm like, oh, I need another dram of this now, and I can't wait to get home to have that Glenmoe. You know, you have drams like that, and it's just buzzing. And it's not that. Fair enough. But again, like you say, what I take issue with is the fact that you say it's failed on the red wine front. It's failed as something that it's a finish. I think that this is a beautiful finish. I think it complements the Glenmorangie style. I think you've been spoiled by that Springbank Burgundy. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm not having that. You've been spoiled, my guy. This is beautiful. This is well balanced. It's not punchy. It's what, 43, 46?
Yeah, it's boring.
Oh. All right, what have you brought? Come on, let's see it. Let's see it.
Mr. Burgundy.
In fairness,
No,
he's
I
bought
was-
2 pretty strong bottles. with him,
I was maybe going to say that we should do Stevie's next on the basis that it's bourbon. It's also vintage.
And on the
not
basis that
it's-
the seal's broken and it's probably
And also, it
oxidizing.
probably fits in nicely from a flavour profile point of view. That Hazelburn looks dark, and equally that Ben Rennes is going to be meaty and
That's true.
dark, right?
That's true.
All right, let's do the Feta Can next then. Stevie,
Yours
prepare.
to talk about,
Ian's in a
mate?
mean mood today, so
Yeah,
just
go on, Ian,
be
rip me
prepared to be
apart.
ruined.
Actually, I
here.
gave Ian a choice. I got a couple of bottles from auction, and I asked you guys, what should we crack? And you were quite interested by this. Why, first of all, were you interested in trying this?
Yeah, why do you want to try
I think
a
I know
Feta
the
Can?
answer.
I don't normally like Fats Can.
Exactly what I thought you'd say. So I
Who
paid
does?
all in, I think, £90 for this
Okay.
bottle of Fetacan. This is an NOB, 1989. It was distilled, bottled in 2006. One of 260 bottles. Now, like you, I've never been a huge fan of our Fetacan. I know Al's got the nickname, the better can, didn't it?
Because it didn't really taste like a Feta Can.
Well, yeah. Was that finished in anything? Was it?
Nope.
It was just
straight
a-
bourbon maturation.
Right.
I bought 10 casks, though, Stevie.
Yep.
And of the 10 casks, 7 tasted like absolute dirt.
Right.
Like you wouldn't want to give them to your worst enemy. 2 of them tasted decent, needed a bit longer. And the one that we bottled, in my opinion, tasted fantastic.
Right.
But then, Whiskey Fun Surge wrote about it. Have they normalized Feta Can? It's not your standard kind of wet cardboard, little bit funky. That's what I expect from Feta Can, these off notes. And that's what I don't like about it. So it's why I'm intrigued that you've bought this, to be honest.
I'm
It's
super intrigued.
Fascinating.
I think they've been doing some better things recently. I've tried a couple of the Fetcan 16 and 18s at shows. I got sent a 16
Yep.
sample.
Yep.
And I think they're, compared to what they've put out as a distillery in years gone by, it's much
improving.
improved.
It's improving. I wouldn't say it's great. There is one of their core range, or maybe not their core range, but just off, that is actually, it did impress me, I have to say. I tried one at a show, I think,
Yeah.
with you.
Well, it's
Past that, it just doesn't excite me.
They have a very different distillation process, right?
Right. They have the cooling ring, isn't it?
Yeah. So, it's like that Michael McIntyre sketch of a few years ago when he was like, Argos looked at every other shop and went, fuck it, we'll do something different.
For sure.
Like, this is...
Sorry, the cooling ring.
Yeah.
Can you explain
Yes.
to me what that is? Because I've
So
never heard of that
basically,
before.
on the stills, they have a ring, not at the top, but close enough to the top, that pours cool water down the outside of the still. So
of the
it
still.
cools it from
Okay,
the
as
outside.
it's as the vapor's rising up,
Yeah,
it's on the outside.
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Okay.
So the distillation is going on the
Okay,
inside, and
so-
it's cooling it from the outside.
So is that slowing the vapor right down at the end there, or
I
do you know-
always get this wrong. I fuck up exactly what it's doing, to be honest
That's
with you,
fine.
Stevie.
No. It's not testing. I just
No,
intrigued to know.
it's a really great question,
Yeah.
and it's frustrating because we obviously launched with Feta Can Glenrothes Bunnahabhain, and we went along, I'm sure you remember, to Feta Can, and of course we couldn't get in.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a little bit disappointing. I would love to sit down with somebody at the distillery and fully understand. I've read about it a bunch of times, and guys, I'm sure the Malt
Google.
Whiskey Yearbook, or I'm sure you can find
Google.
it quite easily exactly what it's doing.
So
but
this
it's
is
a very different style.
We're well prepared, as always.
We are very well prepared. In fairness, I didn't buy the Feta Can. It's not one of my favourites at all.
So there was 2 reasons I bought it. 3 reasons. One, I was getting close to the end of the auction there, and all the bids that I had on were going over the budget. This was my birth year, so I always look for little things like that.
Sorry, I thought it was an 1824 bottle.
Right. That's what
I'm just saying, mate, that's what it says on the bottle, isn't it?
It's a 1989. And also, I knew it would be divisive, so let's fucking get it open.
Yep.
And also, it got a bit fucking ripped up and smashed. Well, it's not smashed, but cracked open in transit. And apparently, Scotch Whisky Auctions doesn't cover that, supposedly. Let's see what their email says. Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Ooh.
God, that's a very disappointing pop.
Oh.
If that's a sign of things to come, I don't want to dram.
That's like a
Here you go, mate.
It's like a dusty queef.
sigh that after.
Give me a fat
oh,
point.
fucking hell.
Reason being.
don't want that much.
Well, you're going to have that much. You chuck it away.
It's 64%, mate.
The reason.
Sorry, what's the percentage?
64%. Sorry, yeah.
Genuinely?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck. And it's 15.
Yeah.
15. It smells like arse.
I tell you what, it doesn't smell 64%.
It doesn't.
Very
I
well
think that's just
integrated
a bad
alcohol.
cork. I
straight
think
off
we
the bat.
have got a bit of a. Oh, we've got a really bad cork here. You have a whiff of that. That's been somewhere else, not in the bottle. Right.
Oh. It does, yeah, it does smell a bit like used gym gear. I'm getting a bit on the nose.
It smells like Vatican.
Yeah, it does not. It has not got the nose prickle of a 64% whiskey, has it?
Oh, it's starting it's starting to give up a little bit more now. I think it's probably going to need a few drops of water in it.
I've got some shit flowing in my glass.
Is it green plastic?
I don't know, dude. Something from the cork, maybe.
It's all right.
It is all right. I was a bit worried after sniffing that cork. There is some funk in there, right? Towards the end there.
Yeah.
You've got those very creamy, sugary notes going on. But the 64%, I don't know if they've labelled that right because...
It doesn't come through. No. I have to say, on that note alone, it's very impressive how they've integrated the alcohol this well. Because presumably it's cask strength. Right. If it's not, I don't know what
they're filling at.
Scary.
I've added some water, and that's no bad thing. I'm actually going to add a little bit.
Not just because I bought it, but I'm actually really enjoying this at that strength. I'm going to add some water, but there is some really creamy, almost kind of butterscotch, toasted, sugary notes going on. But there was just something weird at the end there. Jake, would you like another pour, mate?
I've got it.
You sure?
Finally.
I
Just been fishing, sorry.
I reckon I've taken this down to maybe about 50%, and I'm now getting crunchies.
Crunchy.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking hell, all right. That sounds good, quite nice. I have to say, it didn't smell great to begin with. It is opening up a bit.
Stevie's sniffing the taint again.
We could go down a rabbit hole jokes, but let's not. Don't want to get taken down off YouTube. Oh yeah, the water. Crunchies. I'm getting a bit more of that kind of sugary cereal notes going on now.
Yeah, I get quite a lot of cereal. And it kind of brings out the spice a little bit more.
What do you think
I
then,
have to
boys?
say, it's not bad.
Given the fact that
It's not bad for a
Vatican,
Vatican. Yeah, it's quite palatable. For 64%, I'm amazed on that point alone.
Can't be
Very, very cool. They can't mislabel it,
It's
dude.
No, I know.
taken the water.
It is. It's
Yeah, I like
definitely
to have some
64%.
It's taken the water really well, actually, and the mouthfeel hasn't been affected by it. It's still kind of nice and oily.
I'm just not excited. It's
I know
like,
what you mean.
The thing about it is, if you poured it for me and didn't say anything, I'd be like, it's okay.
As you mean, yeah.
But because it's a Vatican, I'm like, fuck. That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like if you gave me a good Jura, I'd be like, oh fuck, that's really tasty Jura. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I'm
which
excited by that.
which is what I kind of was hoping that it would do because
sure.
given the reputation that the distillery,
yeah.
well, not the distillery has, but a lot of their bottling has, you know, it's not overly impressive most of the time.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting seeing what they were doing back in the 80s. You know, this is well actually bottle wise, yeah, it's a single cask. It's got to be cask strength.
Why does it have to be single cask?
Well,
Do
it
they say
doesn't
how
have
many
to be.
bottles?
Yeah, it does. 260.
Oh, okay. So
So yeah, it must be. So not bad actually. A single cask strength Fetacan from the 1980s.
probably straight out of the distillery. It was
for
probably a distillery exclusive, right?
90 quid,
Yeah,
and it probably was fuck all back then as well. You know,
Yeah.
and not one I reckon people weren't really bidding on this either.
I had
you know
no
what I
idea
mean?
that
For
even
sure.
existed. That was all kind of. I thought it was all generally like blending stock then, and to see it as a kind of potentially single cask and certainly cask strength is amazing. I have enjoyed drinking this, and I think in terms of going back to Jake's point of stuff that you do not otherwise see or hear of, I am much preferring this, Stevie, than to your Glenmoe, Jake.
Fair enough. I have to say, this is a much more pleasant surprise. All right, mate. I would agree that this is a pleasant surprise. If I had bought both,
Yep.
I would be happier with this, even though I enjoy the Glenmorangie more.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say.
yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know
I
where I'm
think
coming at?
And I like your comment of if you taste this blind, you're like, it's all right. But the fact that
It's exciting because
You're
it's
like,
a Feta can.
okay.
It's exciting because it's from the 80s. It's exciting that it's 64. I'm still shocked by that 64%. It's really, really cool. Good find, man. Good find. I'd say, yeah.
£90 all in. Can't send it back now, Scotch Whisky Auctions, even though it did.
Well, you can't send it
And
back now that we've opened
I know
it as
for
well.
a fact that seal and that cork crack happened when they were probably blowing up the sats because box is fine. Not pointing fingers here, but
also, it's your fault.
yeah.
All right. No, I like this.
Poor
I
old
like this.
Tam.
£90 all in.
I love Tam. Don't be mean.
The
Stevie.
fuckers. Oh right, I see.
Um,
Cool.
right.
Well, that's that then. What have you bought us, mate?
Well, I've got 2 bottles in.
They're both
in
rubbish. Fuck off. There you go. Taste of your own medicine.
Do we want to do one or both? We're going to do both?
Yeah, dual wheeled. Why not? Let's do it.
Don't have to do them both together. All right, well, we'll do the open one first. I think we'll do the Hazelburn last. This is a G&M single cask from Benrinnes. It is a 2001 distilled 19-year-old, slightly odd, a 2021 Aberdeenshire exclusive. So I think it went to whiskey shops that were physically based
in Aberdeen.
in Aberdeenshire.
Fair enough. Okay.
And it's a refill sherry hogshead.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get it pulled out.
What did you pay for this, mate?
£85 plus fees. So £92.
Cool. All these bottles here that we bought today are from Scotch Whisky Auctions, right?
No.
No.
Whiskey Hammer.
What, the Glenmoe? Ah, okay. We
Thank you, Ian.
talked before about the auction houses we use. Generally, Whiskey Hammer, Scotch Whisky Auctions.
Yeah.
There's another one I think that you use, isn't there as well? Or are they-
Generally, I'm between those
that's
two.
it. And what, they're
I mean-
about £5-10 lifetime sign-up kind of fee.
Yeah, generally speaking.
And then you can bid, you can sell.
Crack away.
Zero
Yeah.
commission on Scotch Whisky Auctions. as
For
far
sure,
as
yeah.
I'm-
If you want to sell, I think Scotch Whisky Auctions
Yep.
is probably one of the better ones.
Yep. And actually, and you were telling me recently, I only learnt that they do a pickup from London. Is that correct?
Yeah, a few different. Actually, some of the others have started doing that because
Yeah, most of them have little drop-off or
Okay.
collection points in different areas now.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know.
So, sorry, you said 19?
19-year-old refill sherry hoggy.
Refill sherry hogshead.
Yeah,
Okay, so not from birth then.
it's a G&M cask, so it'll probably be one
Second
of their.
maturation, yeah.
No, it says it doesn't say it's a finish.
Okay.
So maybe it's one of their. Yeah, it's one of their casks, right? They normally just get spirit off of places, right?
God, refill sherry, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not getting no sherry at all.
It's very gentle.
It's nice. It's yummy.
I know what you mean. It's not big and brash in your face, but I think it's different. It's a different flavor profile to I think what I'd be getting off of an ex-bourbon cask.
I don't enjoy the mouthfeel.
Really?
It feels like there's too much water in there. I reckon.
Do you want to
I
what
think
is
it's quite-
cask strength, mate?
Oh, sorry, is it?
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's quite silky.
Yeah.
You reckon?
I think the mouth feels.
It feels like there's been like, and there hasn't, obviously.
I think it's
but-
just you've had a bunch of 64% best can, mate.
Tannins are starting to come through a bit more now for me.
I think it's very elegant for the ABV because it's
Yeah, what is it at?
50.1.
Okay, well, I think it sits at its strength. It tastes about 50%. I would say.
Tell me what other bottles you were looking at, if you can remember when you were on your venture to buy these bottles for this episode. Do you remember what you were bidding on?
Well, I bought a couple of things over the last few months when we were talking about it. Like do you remember I bought that old malts cask Talisker that we talked about on the Worm Tubs episode?
I don't think
We
that was
covered
massively
that.
impressive, was it?
What?
If I remember.
Sorry, dude, it was incredible. It was just well overpriced.
Yeah.
Oh, was that what it was?
Yeah,
Oh, and
it
it
was
was
the 11-year-old
still up
Talisker.
for sale now.
It was like 320 quid originally.
Still for sale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I
It
got
was
for-
fucking delicious though. So
I got
Right.
it for 80 plus fees, but we decided we were going to open it as part of that Worm Tubs episode, and it was great.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that we said about that is that the flat 50% that old malt cask go for didn't suit it.
It's not that it didn't suit it. I think we were all just disappointed that there was more on the table that was sort of taken away from us,
Yes,
right?
true.
For sure. Because that's the thing, as we said at the time, the ability to bottle a Talisker. Oh my God. Wow.
Not a lot of
What a
people-
And then
privilege.
just wore it down to 50
And then just
because
bung it all out at 50, mate. That's what we do. What? Madness. No, mad crack altogether. But no, I still think it was good. And I tell you what, if you had that here today, I can almost definitely say it would have won. So
really.
Ooh, I think you got something pretty special coming up, mate. You not had yet?
hey, listen, for sure. Did we not have that? Did we not have that at Springbank at the beginning of the year? I think we did.
I think it might have been another 15. They put out. I think there might have been 2 or 3 batches of the Hazelburn 15.
Is it? Okay, I don't know.
Maybe it was that one. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I missed out on a few things around our budget, and they just went just over one, or a few actually that I was bidding on that I really wanted is the Bruichladdich Laddie Valinches, because
Yeah.
they are always so good.
They are good.
And they actually really they normally go for around 70, 80, 90 pounds. There's a couple of really sought after ones that go up in the 110, 20s. But they are definitely one to look out for.
It's funny you say that. I recently bought a Lockendale, a Rins, and a Port Charlotte. I think it was all Valinch bottles.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe not the
Really?
Rins, actually, was it? I bought 3 really interesting.
Quite old ones? Or?
Yeah.
Right, I was going to
Real,
say,
they
yeah.
look fucking old school. They're very cool. Didn't pay that much for them at all.
Oh, you got
I've
them?
got them. I want to save them though. They're quite cool bottles. Probably open them for the Bruichladdich episode or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very cool bottles. The Valinch bottles are all fucking awesome. And
Yeah.
and I would say I've seldom tasted any that are bad. Do you know what I mean? Like the one that we had over lockdown that you had bought. What type of wine was that? It's fortified wine of some sort. was it?
I can't remember. But Jesus, it was like cherry juice.
Oh my god, it was filthy.
Like the colour,
It was
anyway.
so good. Oh, what? Even
Maybe
the-
it was just because it was lockdown.
No,
It was like
seriously
the first lockdown when you couldn't fucking see anyone, and Jake and I used to meet up on the doorstep, and yeah, I got that in the ballot.
driveway drams.
Driveway drams, and Jesus Christ, yeah. So yeah, there's always good things to look out for.
What do we think of this? Showing off what fucking workhorse distilleries do when they're treated well, right? I love this. I think this is cool.
I think this
Yummy.
is really.
Sorry, what did you pay for this all in?
92, 93.
Yeah, it's great value for money, I think. Really good value.
19
years old.
Single cask Ben Rennes. I think for me, Ben Rennes is one of my top workhorse distilleries. I've talked about this before. I think it suits sherry well, but it suits bourbon really well as well. Yeah, I was really tempted when we went to Cadden Heads a couple of weeks ago to pick up. They had a 26-year-old ex-bourbon mature Ben Rennes that was excellent as well.
Right, okay. Why didn't you get it?
A lot of bottles of whiskey, Jake.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That is true. That is very, very true. I'm enjoying this, though. Very interesting. And sorry, so what's the last thing that you bought? Is the 12?
The Hazelburn 12. This
Okay.
came out earlier this year.
And you picked this up in auction for less than £100?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
think
good. I asked just from the point of view of, obviously, to be honest, for these challenges, I wouldn't even start looking at anything Springbank, Long Row, Hazel, because most of the time these bottles go for well over £100.
Well, the Springbank definitely, I think, yeah, and the long rows, I would
Sometimes you
say.
can find some Kilkerrans.
Hazelburns and the Kilkerrans a bit of an underdog compared.
Yeah,
They're getting a bit more popular.
Still, though, normally £100 is like,
Yeah.
it's hit quite easily. I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
say.
yeah.
So I wouldn't even have looked at these.
so. This is the Hazelburn 12 Oloroso, not to be confused with the 15 that we've talked about on a couple of different things and on the Enthusiast series. 49.9%. Bottled in November 2022 and then released, I think, very early on this year. So I think when we were in Springbank, I think the Hazelburn might have been then another one that was coming up that we tried. I can't remember.
Okay. In
I've
fairness,
had-
we had so much Hazelburn and
Yeah.
so much everything when we were up there. So yeah, no.
I've had this a couple of times at bars over the last year and was just like, this is fucking incredible. It is one of, if not my favourite Hazelburn Olorosos. I have to have one.
Shit.
That's big.
And
From Ian, sorry, my favourite Hazelburn. That's very interesting.
not maybe not quite my favourite, but one of. It's up.
One of.
It's up there.
Okay.
And when this first hit, it did go for quite a bump extra on
A
auction.
premium, right?
But I got this when we started talking about this episode a month or two ago, and I managed to get it for, again, I think it was £80 plus fees, so £88 all in, and I think it was £70 RRP.
Originally.
So I've paid a
Can't
little bit
really
extra.
argue with that. £20 on top is all right. I'd say.
Yeah.
Are sorry, you may have said already. Are these ballot bottles as well?
Yeah, you wouldn't
Yeah,
have. Yeah,
okay.
I was not able to get my hands on one any other way.
Nice.
And so, as opposed to complaining, he went out and bought one at auction.
Yep.
So, whoever sold this, was it worth it really for an extra 10, 20 quid?
Definitely no.
Well, I mean,
I would say no. I
think
haven't
about it,
tried it yet. We'll find out in
Yeah,
a second, I
Stevie,
guess.
they made less than 20 quid, right? £70 RRP.
They made 10 quid.
I paid 80.
Oh, because of the-
they paid £7 fees. They made £3.
Oh dear. Oh
Fucking
dear.
idiots.
Someone made
Oh, dear.
£3 by selling this to me.
Well
I hope
done.
they're happy. I really fucking hope they're happy.
Enjoy your free quid.
Well, thank you so much because I'm about to enjoy it, and you're 3 quid.
Oh, this brings me back to the warehouses at Springbank.
I mean, you couldn't even buy a dram of this.
It does,
You know
doesn't
what
it?
I
It takes
still
you right
think
back.
about anytime I sniff on a Hazelburn, or it was Long Row, wasn't it? I just think of Arian's face when he just drawing the sample from the cask with the Valinch. He was like a pig in shit. He
Thumbing
was
away.
so happy with himself, honestly.
Remind
I
me
love
what
it.
the that he wasn't a big fan of until that trip. Was it the Hazelburn or the Long Row?
I think it was
remember.
Long
Long
Row.
Row.
It was Long Row,
Yeah.
and then he had that Long Row 20. It was your
28.
birthday.
So, yeah, that was the one that he drew out of the cask,
it
and
was
he was
that
just
one.
like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
amazing!"
It was incredible. I think Aaron finds Long Row too ashy a lot of the time.
Right.
Because I see him a lot of time outside of.
Sure. Yeah. No, that was it's good to see. Right, let's get in.
But a lot of standard Long Row, Long Row is definitely something I've grown into. 'Cause I think the first time I was ever given Long Row, it was the standard peated, right? The 35, 40 pound bottle. And it's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with it. But you start getting into the Long Row reds, right? And you're like,
my
oh,
god.
wait. Oh, hello. And then, yeah, the 18s, the 21s, very elegant. Some of the stuff that you have, that's very hard to get your hands on, that's above 21. Like that 28, the open day rum cask that came out a couple of years ago. There's some incredible bottles of Long Row out
Yeah,
there.
there was a Long Row that I'm saving vapors in the bottle. It was two finishes, a Pinot Noir, and I think
this one.
Refill Malbec.
and
Yeah.
the Malbec.
This-
Fuck me.
This is
That
one of the
bottle-
best bottles of Longrow ever. Yes.
Yeah.
That is another one that I've got. At
It's so
auction.
funny, dude. I've literally been saving
That's
this
about.
for
I probably
so
got half
long.
Of that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
probably doesn't taste anywhere near as good as it originally did now. I still have 2, maybe 3 other bottles of this. I went fucking bananas for it.
It's so good. It's.
really did.
I know it's not technically part of the Longer Red series, but that's basically what it is, right? It's
For
my
sure.
favorite one.
And
of
what
it.
virtual day was that? The 2020 or 21?
2020.
Wow, the first. Yeah, I remember. Fucking hell. And dude, that was nothing. I remember like.
It's like £50.
Oh yeah, 50 quid. I think. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Spot on.
It's
And you see them crop up at auction
Oh,
every
for
now and then,
silly money sometimes.
and they go for silly 200 plus.
But
Yeah.
I've
So worth it to me. I'd pay £200.
I had to get-
Yeah,
I
in
had to
fairness,
get-
if I didn't have a few of them, I probably would.
Yeah.
I had to get another one at auction, so I'm on my second. I haven't opened it yet.
Right.
And I think I managed to get away with paying. They have come down a bit recently. I think I got away with paying 105 or 110 plus fees. So
That's a bargain.
I
to
think
me.
that's still worth it at that
absolutely. Yeah.
That's completely worth it.
point.
What do we think of this? This is really yummy. There is an element of it kind of being similar to the 16-year-old that you very kindly opened for us there recently on the Christmas Cracker episode, Stevie. It is,
Hazelburn.
yeah,
Did I?
the 16, the mini, the 35 centiliter
Sorry,
bottle.
I did. Yep.
The only comparison I'm drawing there is I feel like it's not. This one's much better balanced,
Yes.
but there is like it's a lot of juice, like prune juice on the front end almost.
I find that super interesting you say that because it is juicy on the mouthfeel. But for me, this is sulfur nirvana, like all kinds of
Really?
yeah. There is a hint here, right? That is not too much. There's added complexity. It's added.
Of sulfur.
Yeah.
I agree there's a hint of it, but I think it's interesting that you describe it as, the sulfur nirvana
For me, this is the perfect amount
and the balance of it all.
because I can't taste it as sulfur, right?
Right. You have it as almost like a backbone to the juice.
This is some umami to
Right.
the juice.
Yes, yeah. Provides structure to the whole dram, and I'm with you on that. And that's the thing. So what I really like about this, and what I think they've done well, whilst it is super juicy, is because it's Oloroso, it's drying, it's tannic, it's nutty as well, and it kind of brings it a little bit more full picture. Whereas I personally felt that the 16 was just a bit too juicy. It was like almost like it was more sherry. Do you know what I mean? I'm enjoying it. I don't know if I'm enjoying it as much as I thought I was going to.
Right. I'm gonna get another bottle.
I'm going to be as mean to you as you were to me, mate. It's basically what I'm doing. Yeah?
I'm gonna be getting.
It's rubbish. No, I'm joking.
I'm gonna be getting another bottle of this once. This
You're
is
really
through.
excited about this. That's so interesting. And don't get me wrong, like it's yummy. But I think I would say the same to this as to I'd buy a bottle of this. I wouldn't be super excited to be running out buying another one. I
Really?
don't think.
So for me, especially once you've had a few more sips, I think this is something that really builds as you continue to drink it as well, which is quite unusual. Normally, for me, you have a first sip, okay, you have a second sip, you discover more, a third sip, and you kind of
And your palate is acclimatized, sort of.
yeah, and at that point, you can think about things, and maybe you discover other flavors. With this, it continually develops as you continue drinking it.
Right.
And now on the kind of fifth, sixth sip, some of that industrial Campbelltown funk is coming through, and there's a hint of a kind of oily rag.
I'm also
to
getting
it.
chocolate.
Some more, yeah, absolutely, yeah, bit of mocha.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Um,
Look, it's yummy. I think if it was a long row or a Springbank, the peat would add something for me that I look for, and I think that that's maybe what it's missing for me as like something that I get super, like you say, I want another one of these. I'm running out and buying it again.
It's a
I
bit
just-
of dirt, a bit of kind
A
of
bit
like
of funk,
roughness.
a bit of it's too beautiful. It's too.
Well, I agree.
So
it's too elegant. It's you
No,
know,
I think
we're
we need-
dirty boys. Do you know what I mean? Just because you're dressed up like fucking Hugh Hefner doesn't mean that we want to behave well.
Where,
you know
where
what
are
I
the
mean?
bunnies, mate?
I wish.
Why don't you bring the bunnies?
Look, I think the 15 is that you're talking about, and this is better than the 15 because I think this has got some dirt to it.
It does. Sorry, I'm not saying it doesn't have, but it's. I just. Yeah, it's too. No, it's too pretty.
It is.
It's too pretty. It's
needs
beautiful.
To be, it needs to be sodomized.
It just needs to be.
Jake's saying.
Fucking hell. I don't think that's quite what Jake said. Sorry, just for everyone at home. I think that's what Stevie said, actually.
I said it. It's what I want in my glass.
It does. It needs a bit of dirt, a bit of filth. It needs to be. Yeah. It's too elegant for me. Not to say that it's not a beautiful dram, but just to be as excited about it as you are. But it's fucking cool, man. I have to say.
It is lovely, and I completely agree with you. It is so elegant and just lovely, but I just want a bit more fucking roughness in there, which you will get from the long row.
Well, I'm going to drink
That's
this
the
all.
whole point.
And that's the thing. I think that's what we realised on our trip is I was so long row ready, whereas you and Arian were super excited about everything Hazelburn. Not to say that you weren't excited about the others, but I think of all of us, it shocked me how excited you were about the Hazelburn aspect.
I fucking love
For
Hazelburn.
me, it was like long row and then Springbank Kilkerran and then Hazelburn. Like Hazelburn was the afternote. Do you know what I mean? And it still surprised me, and I've got a much better appreciation having visited Campbelltown for Hazelburn. And like I say, this is yummy. It's just not quite what I want it to do for me.
There is a small heretical part of myself that almost finds Springbank the least exciting
Right.
of the three.
Yeah.
And I think it's because part of that is because it's so hard.
To get your hands
Get
on.
your hands on
Yeah,
it,
for
right?
sure. Go against the grain, mate. Why
But I
not?
also feel it's like the base layer of the distillery, right? In terms of
But there's still so much variety there.
it within Springbank releases.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not saying that. But it starts to level up. You get to the Hazeburn, it levels up more when you get to Long Row. Granted, Glengarle's got different, stills, but yeah.
It's yummy.
I am delighted with this.
Good. Oh, I'm so glad that you've got a bottle then, mate. And exactly, whatever fucking tit gave this up for £3 extra, thank you very much, because Ian's a happy man, which is it's all we want. I like it. I think it's cool. Remind me again, you say 88 all in.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. All right. Well, look, 4 beautiful drams. Quite interesting. Sorry, go on, Stevie.
I was going to say, we're only at 40 minutes. I think people would be disappointed if we ended the episode here.
Oh, we don't want to disappoint people.
We
hey?
have another bottle.
What do we have?
I've got another bottle that I want.
Go on, whip it out, mate.
Thing. So, just to extend
Careful
this
with
episode-
what Stevie's been talking about.
What's
Don't
that,
ask
mate?
him to whip him out. Whip it out.
Well,
Fucking whip it right out, mate.
You might get an eyeful.
not in church anymore.
Give me some of the sacrament anyway.
So yeah, actually, yeah. I want to open this. Obviously, I said bought 2 bottles just in case. Ian, you bought 2 bottles. Jake, it's your second bottle, mate.
We bought 2 bottles last time when it was 1, so now I guess he's the one playing by the rules this time.
True. I grabbed an old malt cask Lafroig 12-year-old.
Sorry, say that again, mate.
An old malt cask Lafroig.
Okay.
You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Just make sure you're cool.
What percentage?
50.
Yeah, well,
Oh, boo.
Refill sherry?
do you know what?
It's got to fucking say. How many bottles
Yeah,
were
it
there?
is correct. Refill sherry,
Right.
but yeah.
It's cool it says Lafroig. It's quite unusual nowadays. You get Williamson on most things
Exactly,
nowadays.
yeah. And there was a few of those as well. I believe £85 maybe.
It's pretty good.
So, good way to end the show. Let's see what we think. Let's see if
Sorry,
we think-
£85, yeah?
I
And how
believe
old
so.
is it?
12.
12.
Cool. You're struggling to get into it.
No, I'm all right, mate. So haven't got the nails. Any of you got your nails on?
No.
Unfortunately,
No,
no.
not today.
No.
I don't want to twist it in case I fucking...
Break another cork.
There we go. There
That's
we
pretty
go.
good. That's more like it.
Probably grab... is that your glass or mine? I think
Don't
it's yours. Oh, I've got one here. I'm giving you a bigger pour, mate. Don't have to drink it just because it's the neck.
That smells like the Lefroy.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's interesting, actually. You can pick these old malt casks up for around £70 to £100, depending on what it is, quite regularly.
Yeah.
I don't see too many people. I wasn't in a massive competition with anyone. I kind of put my bid in very early on, and it kind of stayed like that. So
When was this released, mate? Do you know?
when was it released? Okay,
Or bottled.
Bottled.
Get your nose around that.
2018. It was
Okay.
bottled.
It's maybe why it was probably one of the last of the Lefroigs before they all started becoming Williamsons.
Which is probably why they could name it, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Well,
if
actually,
they'd have it-
technically speaking, you should be able to label Williamson as Lefroy anyway, because a lot of it is single malt Scotch. But because Beam pay the SWA's salaries for the large part, they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
So really, you should be able to denote where it's been made. If it's a single malt Scotch and it fits within all of the bounds of those rules, you should be able to denote
So you should
where
be able
it's
to say
come from.
distilled at
Distilled
Lefroy.
at, yeah. Obviously, you shouldn't be like Lefroy. You're not trying to fuck their brand over, but you should be able to tell people where it's distilled at.
696
Probably the old
bottles.
malt cask has been around for so long that they've got the in. Do you
Well,
know
they
what I
probably
mean?
bought that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting. So this was...
Well, they would have bought it 12 years ago.
Stevie,
They wouldn't have bought it that long ago.
you've
From
missed,
2018.
missed a crucial
Oh, right.
piece of
From okay,
information.
still, yeah.
That's why I gave it to you, mate.
Exclusive Fèis Ill 2018 bottling for the Ardnahoe Distillery Shop.
I
which
didn't know
would have
that.
been
Didn't know that.
the second year it was open as a distillery.
That is a bully of a dram. You know what Lefroy always reminds me of? Did you like Sean Locke? Comedian.
Oh, I know the guy, yeah.
I love Sean Locke. He was an absolute legend. And he had this hilarious tasting note on whatever it was, 8 out of 10 Cats or Countdown or whatever the fucking show it was that he was on at the time. And it always reminds me of Lefroy. He said, hot tarmac and a wet... hot tarmac and a vet's flannel or something like that. A wet vet's flannel. And that's literally what this is. Do you know what I mean?
Hot tarmac is actually perfect.
It's spot on. It always, every time I smell Lefroy, I think of Sean Locke.
I probably would like to also say that in a very similar note to that Talisker.
There's more that we've lost here.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think another...
I don't think we've lost as much. Maybe that's because Lefroy is such a rich and bold flavour,
Yeah.
And the delicacies of Taliskers are probably easier to wash away a little bit. But no, I agree 100%. This should have been left as is, probably 60-odd%.
Depends what...
It probably was.
That would have been a
well,
fucking...
we had that Firewater Lefroy on one tasting a while back.
God, yeah. Fucking
So
hell.
I'm not sure it needs to be 60, but maybe
No, but-
55.
Yeah, but again, water it down to the point where you want. I definitely wouldn't be adding water to this as it is now.
I really like this.
You
There
said
is-
sherry though.
Yeah.
Again, I'm getting fuck all sherry.
Oh, no, mate. If this
Are
was
you?
a bourbon Lefroy, yeah.
I feel there's too much sweetness in here for me on the
Yeah.
back.
Okay.
I don't think it's an amazing sherry cask because I'm with Stevie. It's, someone's like mixed a fucking pack of like Tate and Lyle into their bitumen.
Yeah, I think if the sweetness was just toned down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the peat really fucking
But it's
takes over. But
there's just a kind of like a kind of slightly cheap sugary sweetness to it, right?
yeah, correct. Not bad overall. I guess we should move on to would we bid or we wouldn't bid, right?
Buys, don't buys. Yeah.
Deal or no deal? Sorry, we're allowed to say
Bin
that.
it.
Are we going to get sued now?
Bunny or no bunnies?
Okay. All right, let's start at the beginning
like
then. I'm not really looking forward to being abused by you both, but there we go. Glenmorangie, let's start there.
You didn't do too well last time, did you, mate?
I felt that I've done quite well both times, to be honest. But hey
you bought
ho.
that fucking cognac and a Johnny Walker for more money than you could buy it for from anywhere else.
Sorry, it was a limited edition bottle.
Fucking
I
limited.
stand by
Limited edition
that.
packaging. Liquid was the same.
It was, yeah. Okay.
Right, let's start from where we started.
Glenmorangie, £95 all in. I'm happy I bought it.
Look, you've done better than last time.
All right, thank you. I'll take that. If
Yeah,
that's
you
all I'm getting, mate.
Yeah,
I'll
you
take
spent
it.
more money.
That's true. I spent 3 times
No,
the money.
it's, no. Look, I'm gonna be generous and say it's a less incompetent purchase than previous.
You cheeky cunt.
Wow.
It's a less incompetent. Fuck you. Right, okay. I can see where this is going quickly. All right, well, all right. Sorry, last time did we do deal or no deal based on the price that the
can't
person paid? Is that what we
remember.
did?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he
Yeah.
is right. I think that's
Okay.
maybe what we did do. So I personally feel like I've got a deal. It's not something that I would rush out and buy again, but I'm happy that I've bought it. So Glenmoe, I'm saying I'm happy. I think it's a good deal.
If I hadn't tasted it, I'd make
be in
a
the same
deal on it.
position.
Yeah, I would.
Now that you've
However,
tasted
it's
it.
not a bad dram.
Right.
It's enjoyable. I think it's something interesting to have on the shelf when people come over and you're like, oh, fucking hell, that's a vintage
Exactly.
Glenmoe. What does that taste like? Here you go. Would I go and bid on it again? Definitely not. So thank you for wasting your money for me.
That's all right, my guy. I'm very happy that you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I guess in my probably my most backhanded compliment of the day, good in theory.
But didn't execute in the way that you wanted it to.
No.
Which you made very clear earlier, so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Thank you so
no
much. Okay, cool. So not such a big fan of the Glenmoe. We aren't here in the studio. Moving on, we had the Feta can, which I think was quite a surprising one for all of us. I would not buy it, but I'm kind of where you're at with the Glenmoe.
Sure.
It was a good deal. I think you've paid fair money for it. The 64% blows me away. And I think that, again, similar to the Glenmoe, have that on your fucking shelf. And anyone who comes through your door and asks for a whiskey, tell you what, mate, have you had a Feta can before? Try
Yeah,
this.
hate it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially the people who hate it.
Yeah.
Try this.
Yeah.
Because it's cool, it's different, and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. So it's a deal, but I wouldn't buy it myself.
Ian?
I'm pretty much exactly with Jay. I'm very glad I tried it, and actually probably more glad I tried it than the Glenmoe.
Enough of these backhanded fucking compliments, lads.
That's
I
not
only bought one
backhanded
bottle.
I'm actually almost tempted. No, it's a no deal, but only just. I'm very close. I'm on the fence.
I'm with you guys. I wouldn't bid on it again, but I'm really glad I've got the rest of that bottle.
Yeah.
You know?
And it'll probably last you a good while, right? You're not going to rush through it.
Because I
Yeah.
think with Vetican, I could have done a lot worse.
Oh, you could be like
Oh, yeah, mate.
really
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you could be sipping on absolute
So,
dirt at the minute. So yeah. No, cool.
Good
cool.
punt.
I like it. The Ben Rinnes is where we went next, yeah.
Yep.
Was
Which is
that
lovely.
90 quid?
That's a deal.
Yep.
That's a deal. For £90, 19-year-old Ben Rinnes,
51%.
51%. I think it was
50.1.
50.1. I think it was yummy. I think it was good. Not saying that I'm going to write home about, but I think it's a high quality dram. I think it's worth the money. I think it's a good deal. So I'd buy it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I would definitely look for it going forward. I love the Gordon MacPhail's Concierge Choices Butters. So I like collecting them, as you'll see in one of our next episodes. I think you did all right. How much did it retail? Do you know?
I think I paid at most what the retail price was
fine.
all in. So
Yeah, bargain.
whoever sold
I
that
think-
lost some money.
Yep.
Unlucky. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I don't need a second one of these, but I'm going to really enjoy drinking the rest of this over the next year or two.
Yeah.
Deal.
Cool. No, that's
Deal all round.
That's a good one. That was probably the favourite thus far, I'd say. The Hazelburn was very cool, and you've got a fucking deal. Like, that's no questions asked, right? Like I said at the beginning, I wouldn't have even gone to look at your Springbanks Hazelburns Long Road because normally they go for over £100. I wasn't even thinking on that line. I think it's a great deal. It was a really yummy dram. I still don't think I wrap my head around Hazelburn the way that you've got this passion for it. So great deal. I would buy it because I would want one in my own collection. I would only buy one, but yeah, I would definitely do that. I'd definitely pay what you paid. And I'd probably pay up to £100 actually. On that note, I would be ready because of what everyone else is always paying. I would probably go into it thinking I'm going to have to spend at least £100 on this, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably spend the full whop on that. I think you've got a very good deal there.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't chase Hazelburn like some people do. Yourself.
But if you wanted a
Arian,
bottle,
you-
you'd recognise that you're probably going to pay a little bit over the odds, right?
No, of course, especially given the market today, right? With anything that comes out from Springbank, I'd be more inclined to chase Longrow. That's just my personal preference. It's a lovely jam, and I think you got a great deal. And someone lost. Well, they made £3, but I think they lost out potentially on enjoying the liquid. But I wouldn't go and chase it again at auction or at all. But thank you for having it. But it's a no deal for me.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. And
Deal-
finally, the
deal for me.
Lafroig. Sorry, you're obviously you'd buy
of
like
course.
I'd buy another.
Sorry,
He's gonna keep
I'm
buying
not trying
them.
to skip over it.
Buy a case.
If anyone has any of these for Ian, please let us know. He wants more.
It pays £3 more.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Give you £3.
Exactly. The Lafroig is probably, for me, the nicest surprise of the day. I struggle with Lafroig sometimes. Again, it's not one that, of all of the PT whiskies, it's probably one of my lesser favorites. It's a complex dram. Do I wish they had not fucking watered it all the way down to 50? Yes. But I think it actually sits really nicely in the glass. And kind of to what you were saying about the Hazelburn, I've continued going back to this if we've been talking through these 5 drams, and it's growing on me. It's developing a bit. I think it's quite yummy. I am getting the sort of sherry notes in it now. I think it's yummy. And sorry, how much did you pay?
I think it was £90 all in. Yeah.
For a 12-year-old Lafroig,
Yeah, single cask.
I think it's really fucking cool. Similar to the Talisker. I
Yeah.
think the Talisker was a better deal at £80, £90, whatever you paid for it. But I think that's a really, really cool expression. And again, just goes to show the old malt cask, I've got great liquid from great distilleries, really good cask selection. Maybe they just need to stop bottling stuff at 50% and getting stuff out, because ultimately they are pitched towards whiskey lovers, right?
Yeah. I look, I mean, you talked about the Talisker. I think I got a great deal on that because I managed to get it for such a price compared to what other people are selling it at.
Yeah.
Stevie, I think, has got a great deal on this because I'm assuming it was only ever stocked on Islay.
Right. Oh, no, it was in Aberdeenshire, wasn't it?
No, that was the...
Oh,
Ben
sorry.
Reynolds.
Ben Reynolds.
Sorry.
This was an
misremembering.
Ardnahoe distillery shop.
Sorry.
in Sweden.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So again, it's, what's one of the great things about auctions, right? Like at the end of the day, if you're planning a trip to Islay or whatever, and you can get over and get whatever you want,
Happy days,
fantastic.
yeah.
But it's not a cheap trip, however you look at it,
No, absolutely.
unless you're lucky enough to live in Ayrshire.
Fair enough. Even still, it's not a cheap trip, but it's much, much easier. I agree. No, absolutely. No, I think that's, for me, is the biggest winner of the day. It's a buy for you then?
Yeah. Not a strong buy, but it's.
I think it's a deal at the price
deal.
Stevie paid. Again, I wouldn't go out and buy more than one, but I would want one on the shelf. And thank you
Yep.
very much for bringing it, Stevie. I think it was a great addition to the lineup. It's a deal. Deal from you,
Yeah.
Stevie?
Yeah, I think I did really well there.
All right, mate.
Yeah, it was a surprise, like you. I was expecting a bit. Listen, it's Lafroig. There's no doubt about that when it's in the mouth, right? The only criticism I have of it is it's just a bit too much. It's a bit too much of the artificial sugar for me in there.
Okay.
That's all it is. However, that doesn't make it really unpleasant. But yeah, but
I think, again,
it's
if
a
they
deal.
hadn't watered it down as much, that maybe wouldn't be showing through in the same
Yeah.
way.
Exactly.
But for sure.
It's definitely one to look out for if you can see it again.
And I think we've also learned that Jake is the worst at buying off of auctions.
Oh, Jake.
Brilliant. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
Jake.
But you know what? I'm the only one with an independent brand, so there we go. Fuck yourselves. No, listen, I think we've got some really cool whiskies here. And it just goes to show, look, for £60 to £100, you can really start branching out. I think versus the £30 limit, where we were all struggling.
Oh, listen.
This
yeah.
time, we've had a bit more freedom. We've come back with actually some pretty fucking big names.
Yep.
Some old school stuff, some newer school stuff, some stuff that sells out like that, and stuff that we wouldn't have ever thought of. The fact, so I think we've got a really nice eclectic mix. And this is the thing. Obviously, everyone at home, you wanted the auction bottles at £30 to begin with, and I understand people have budgets, and that's cool. If you can stretch that budget to £60-70 and upwards, all of a sudden, more and more stuff becomes available to you.
It's a really nice sweet spot, I think, for budget.
Broadens your horizons. I agree. I think £60 to £100 is a wonderful spot to be in. We are going to do another episode of this in the next few weeks or in the next few months, where we spend maybe between £100 and £150, I think.
Yeah.
But again, that's for you guys at home to decide, is that your budget boundary? I think that this episode is probably suitable for a lot more of our audience. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Please let us know what you guys are drinking, what you guys have bought from auction recently. If you think that I am the worst auction buyer, please don't drop it in the comments. I'd like some support here. Someone tear down Ian for once, would you? But listen, as always, gents, it's a pleasure to sit and drink a few drams with you. Thank you so much for joining me. And everyone at home, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time.
See you next time.
Slán.
Cool.
Maybe we should do 30 to 60 as well.